hard to stand up? Don't wait for an official tsunami warning. Go immediately. If an earthquake is long or strong, get gone.
Evening Hunter, you've got anything? Nothing much. Just a few weak quakes in North Canterbury. The strongest was a 4.1 at least 50 kilometers underground. Oh good. Any activity around the Bay of Plenty? Surprisingly, we have received little detection of earthquakes in the past 2 weeks in the Bay of Plenty. What about in Wellington? The same. Minimal earthquakes in the past 3 weeks. Now I'm not the one to advise anything, but this looks like a seismic gap. You reckon? Yeah. Both areas are known for seismic activity since they're both along the same fault line, but there's been no activity there recently. If it continues, we should probably issue an alert to GeoNet and GNS Science about a potential large-scale quake. But remember that the topic of another devastating earthquake is a sensitive subject. Especially after what happened in the Bay of Plenty. I know. I'll give it 4 more days to see what happens. If there is no seismic activity, we are going to make a report about it. Alright then. Sounds good.
This alert has been issued at the request of Civil Defence and GeoNet on the 25th of October, 2024. All cable televisions and stations within the Bay of Plenty region are to be shut down in order to broadcast this emergency alert. This is not a test. A large earthquake has occurred near the area of Waimangu. This earthquake has been measured as a 7.1 on the Richter scale and has been felt as far as the cities of Taupo and Palmerston North. It is unconfirmed how many people have died as a result of this earthquake, but multiple emergency services from cities such as Auckland, Hamilton, Rotorua, Tauranga, and Taupo will be arriving into the area shortly to help treat survivors. A tsunami alert has been issued to the people of Rotorua as well as people who live near Lake Rotomahana and Lake Tarawera. It is unlikely that a tsunami alert will be issued to any areas alongside the Bay of Plenty such as Tauranga and Waihi or alongside Lake Taupo. However, it should be advised to people within the area to expect more shaking such as aftershocks. If you feel more shaking, drop, cover, and hold. Do not hold too tightly, however, in case you need to make a quick escape from the building that you are in. If you are within a shop, a commercial building, or on public transport, follow instructions from those in charge. Use social media and text messages to keep in touch with your family and friends instead of using phone lines so that they are kept clear for emergency services. Remember, if it's long or strong, get gone. This has been a broadcast from Civil Defence. Take care. Good luck. And be prepared.
Ryan, we need to issue an emergency.
What for?
3 days ago, a 7.1 earthquake hit the region of the Bay of Plenty. Today, we measured a magnitude of 6.8 near Ruin Forest Park. It's just along the Ruin fault line.
Are you suggesting that the North Island fault system is waking up?
After weeks of inactivity, I believe so.
Have you made any predictions for when a large-scale earthquake may hit the North Island region?
Not yet, but we are also getting reports of seismic inactivity along the Alpine fault line. It could happen any time.
Okay, I'll contact GeoNet and see if an alert should be issued.
Thank you.
This alert has been issued at the request of Civil Defense and GeoNet on the 29th of October, 2024. This broadcast is currently being aired to residents in the regions of the Waikato, Manawatu Wanganui, Lower Hutt, Hawke's Bay, Taranaki, Gisborne, the Bay of Plenty, Marlborough, Nelson, Tasman, the West Coast, Canterbury, and Otago. May we please have your immediate attention? This is not a test due to recent shaking within the areas of Waimagu and the Ruahine fault line. Officials at Civil Defense and GeoNet are concerned that these could be early signs that a much larger earthquake may occur somewhere along the North Island fault line system. This is also because of seismic inactivity along the fault line, as GeoNet have recorded less earthquakes than usual within what areas would normally be prone to seismic activity. Normally, less seismic activity could mean that the fault line is no longer active at first glance. However, in seismology terms, this means that there is much certainly a bigger earthquake that will hit. A recent simulation made by GNS Science shows what the effects of a magnitude 8.5 earthquake or higher may do to the areas along the fault line. All urban areas that are closest to the epicenter of the quake will be severely, if not completely, destroyed by the quake. Most residential houses that are made out of wood will be destroyed. If your house doesn't have earthquake-proof foundations, it is strongly encouraged to install them. Areas that are as far away as 500 kilometers away will also feel the effects of the quake. If the tsunami occurs on the east coast, a tsunami alert will be issued encouraging all residents to seek high ground. Areas within Hawke's Bay will be severely affected. From November the 1st, public civil defense meetings will be held on a weekly basis in the areas of Gisborne, Nuhaka, Mahia, Wairoa, Mohaka, Tangoio, Napier, Hastings, Kairako, Pororeri, Porangahau, Herbertville, and Castle Point. Most meetings will be taking place in public halls or auditoriums of each area. Since the Hawke's Bay region is most likely to experience a tsunami during the earthquakes, it is at a top priority to inform the residents within these areas first. 3 weeks after these civil defense meetings have been held, there will be more meetings taking place in neighboring regions such as the Lower Hutt and the Bay of Plenty. For residents who live alongside the Alpine fault line in regions such as Tasman, Nelson, Marlborough, Canterbury, Otago, and the West Coast. It is just as important to stay prepared for a potential earthquake. Recent studies have shown that once every 300 years, a large earthquake greater than a magnitude of 8 on the Richter scale has occurred from the fault line directly. It is believed that if a potential earthquake from the North Island fault system is powerful enough, an earthquake that could be of magnitude 9 on the Richter scale could occur within the area. This has been an alert from Civil Defence and GeoNet. Be prepared, stay safe, and God defend New Zealand.
Many Kiwis were taken by surprise this morning after a national alert was played on most TV stations around the country. The alert, sent out by Civil Defence, describes how there is a possibility of a large catastrophic earthquake hitting the North Island. This has sparked lots of fear and controversy around the country as people begin fearing for the worst. Many have begun to make plans to evacuate areas that may be at risk, such as Palmerston North, Napier, Gisborne, and Wellington. However, officials at Civil Defence have assured the public that there is nothing to fear and that the alert was issued in order to keep people prepared if a much bigger earthquake were to hit. Concerning data from GeoNet shows otherwise. Public meetings held by Civil Defence will be taking place in multiple towns that may be at risk of a large earthquake. There have been claims made that the alert was issued for the purpose of fear-mongering and that if there ever was a strong earthquake, that most buildings could withstand it. However, reports leaked from Civil Defence shows that even buildings that have been designed with earthquake-proof materials still wouldn't withstand an earthquake greater than a magnitude of 9 on the Richter scale. Now for our weather across the country.
This is not a test. This is an emergency earthquake alert issued by the Otago Regional Council and Civil Defence. You are putting your life at risk if you do not listen to the following instructions. A large earthquake measuring an 8.4 on the Richter scale has occurred 12 kilometers below ground 6 minutes ago, with the epicenter of the quake being 10 kilometers north of Glenorchy. Because of this earthquake, it has triggered a large landslide from the nearby mountain of Mount Bonpland. Rocks, dirt, and large pieces of land have collapsed from the mountain and have entered the waters of Lake Wakatipu. As well as that, it is reported that the entire area of Kinloch has been destroyed. As a result, it is at the interest of Civil Defence that an immediate tsunami warning is to be issued to the people of Glenorchy, Greenstone, Creighton, Closeburn, Queenstown, Frankton, Y Creek, and Kingston. The size of the wave produced may vary depending on how close each area listed is close to the epicenter of the earthquake. However, it is believed that the height of the wave may be as tall as 30 meters once it hits the area of Queenstown. The tsunami will make landfall on Glenorchy in approximately 3 minutes. If you are within Glenorchy at the time of this broadcast, do not remain to listen to the following instructions: seek high ground immediately. It is estimated that the wave will be higher than 60 meters. As for residents within areas further down the lake, it is important to listen to the following instructions. Depending on how high the wave will be once it hits your area, you must seek high ground that is taller than at least 50 meters above sea level. For residents within Queenstown, Frankton, and Jacks Point, it is advised to seek high ground near populated ski fields. Recommended ski fields include the Remarkable Ski Area, Coronet Peak Ski Field, or Queenstown Hill. These areas will provide safety and well-being to people who are evacuating. It is highly advised not to seek high ground within already damaged buildings, as it is possible that they may not withstand the tsunami. However, buildings such as nearby airport hotels in Frankton and the Lakeview Holiday Park may be able to withstand the wave. Take care not to waste time packing belongings, as you will not only be putting your life but other people's lives at risk as well. Try not to use your own form of transport as you may risk creating traffic jams and delaying your escape. Shuttle buses will be evacuating people for free up to nearby ski resorts and high ground. There will also be private or commercial flights that will be evacuating people out of the area. However, it is estimated for the wave to take only 17 minutes to hit Queenstown. As for residents within Creighton and Closeburn, it is advised not to escape by car and instead to seek high ground via public tracks near Mount Crichton, Ben Lomond, or to go towards Moke Lake as it is shielded from the tsunami by nearby mountains. For residents in Creighton, you must move now as the tsunami will impact your area in approximately 6 minutes from now. For residents who are in Kingston, however, it is advised to drive as far south as you can since it will take at least 30 minutes from now for the tsunami to hit your area. However, you should not underestimate the strength of the wave as you will still face certain death if you are in the path of this wave. Do not waste time packing up and evacuate now. Do not return back to the affected areas until you have been given the all-clear broadcast. This has been an emergency broadcast from Civil Defense. We will update you on this shortly.
Kia ora, good afternoon. We've interrupted normal programming to bring you some breaking news. A magnitude 8.4 earthquake has just struck the area of Queenstown 10 kilometers north of Glenorchy. The earthquake has triggered a landslide from a nearby mountain which has spawned a devastating tsunami. Reports are scarce right now, but we have overhead footage from our news helicopter which shows the extent of the damage that the earthquake and the tsunami have caused. Emergency teams will be deployed in the area most likely within the hour, and there will be an all-clear message given to the people of Queenstown. Most local places in Queenstown such as the Queenstown Gardens, the Queenstown Mall, Arrowtown, and most other iconic buildings or restaurants within the area have been flooded by the waves. We are getting reports that there might be as many as 200 people who have been killed by the tsunami alone. Most residents have taken refuge on high peaks around the area such as local ski fields like the Remarkables or Coronet Peak. Others have evacuated to Skyline Queenstown. There will be word on this from Civil Defense and Parliament. However, this is a developing situation. We will keep you updated on this.
This is an all-clear message that has been sent out towards residents of the affected areas of the Mount Bonpland tsunami which occurred a little more than an hour ago. This message has been issued in order to inform residents that it is safe to return back to your areas for now. Due to fears of another aftershock or devastating earthquake triggering another tsunami, civil defense personnel will issue an evacuation of the area. Residents may be given an exceptional amount of time to bring any essential belongings that they may need to bring with them if they are close to their area of residence or if their area of residence hasn't been affected by the earthquake or tsunami. People who have been evacuated will be moved to public campgrounds in the time being until civil defense officials and GeoNet conclude when it is safe to move back to the area. If you do have family living elsewhere in the country or overseas, you are welcome to issue a request to remain with them until it is safe to come back. Since this has been the most powerful and destructive earthquake to hit the area, GeoNet will be putting the regions of West Otago, Southland, the West Coast, West Canterbury, Tasman, Nelson, and Marlborough on alert as they run along the Alpine fault line which is showing signs of activity. As mentioned in previous broadcasts, the area has had a history of an earthquake greater than a magnitude of 8 occurring there once every 300 years. However, scientists in GeoNet and GNS scientists are predicting that there might be an earthquake exceeding a magnitude of 9 on the Richter scale that may strike somewhere along the Alpine fault line. In the event of another catastrophic earthquake happening, it is very important to drop, cover, and hold on. Do not hold on too tightly in case the building that you are in is collapsing and you need to escape. More information will be given to you via pamphlets and booklets given by civil defense officials during the evacuation process. Thank you for listening and be prepared for further information that is given to you.
Thomas, I need to show you this.
What is this?
Our systems and devices have detected a swarm of earthquakes no less than an hour after the Queenstown earthquake occurring near Hokitika and traveling up west to Nelson, Blenheim, and Wellington. By the hour, they've been increasing.
Jesus.
That's not all. I've also tested the probability of the Alpine fault line releasing a catastrophic earthquake. While it may look like it's already happened, I've estimated that there could be a second quake, a magnitude 9.1 at a minimum. It may occur within concentrated areas of the Alpine fault line though. There is also a chance of another extreme earthquake happening within the North Island as well along the Wellington or the Ruahine and Mohaka fault line.
There's nothing else we can do about this now since we have done our part in collecting data. I can however send this to one of my friends who has close contacts with the Prime Minister. All we can really do now however is wait. How long do you think it may be until another earthquake happens there?
Maybe a week at most. It will be so powerful that it could be felt as far as Fungar Ray and the Chatham Islands.
Shit, then we don't have a lot of time left.
Tell your friends and family to be prepared, Thomas. This one is going to be big.
Breaking news coming in from Queenstown today as a large earthquake measuring 8.4 on the Richter scale hits near Glenorchy, triggering a large landslide from a nearby mountain which has spawned a tsunami. While the initial threat may have passed, civil defense officials urge residents within the area to evacuate out of the area to neighboring campgrounds or friends and family who live around the country. This may be because of aftershocks, which could trigger more landslides. Civil defense promises to alert residents of when it will be safe to return back to the area again. However, there is no official word from them yet. There have also been satellite imagery of the effects that both the earthquake and the tsunami have had on the area. Information we have received so far is that apart from the Bay of Plenty earthquake, which occurred last year, this has been the second worst and most cataclysmic earthquake to hit the country. The Prime Minister has addressed the situation, calling it as one of the worst earthquakes that this country has ever experienced and that they are sending their thoughts and prayers to those who have been affected. This earthquake has undoubtedly reignited fears across the country of a mega earthquake occurring. While some have said that the worst is over, others such as scientists and GeoNet state otherwise. There could be a likely chance that another potentially catastrophic and more powerful earthquake could occur somewhere else along the fault line, GeoNet researcher Hunter Davidson stated in an interview with National Radio.
If these lands could speak, what would they say? They would say, welcome.
Kia ora. Kia ora.
They would invite you in to share this extraordinary part of the world. This place, it's yours too.
This is a national emergency earthquake alert issued by Civil Defense and GeoNet at 8:10 a.m. on November 12, 2024. May we please have your urgent attention? A large-scale earthquake has struck 5 kilometers below the area of Fielding, with the epicenter being just 1.7 kilometers southeast of the area. This earthquake is currently being measured as an 8.8 magnitude earthquake and is still rising. If you are currently feeling any form of shaking right now, whether it is intense or not, do not listen to the broadcast and drop, cover, and hold on until you have felt that the shaking has stopped. Do not run outside, or you may risk being struck by falling debris or glass, which can cause serious if not fatal injuries. Instead, remain indoors, either under a strong and sturdy piece of furniture such as a table or a couch. If you do not have any strong furniture, drop to the ground near a sturdy part of the building and cover your head and neck with your arms. Do not go under a doorway, as it is not a strong part of a building and swinging doors may cause injury. Do not go near any windows that might shatter and cause injury. Keep away from any tall furniture such as wardrobes, television sets, shelves, or cabinets, as there is a chance that they might fall on top of you and cause serious injuries. We are currently receiving reports about intense shaking being felt near Napier, Gisborne, Tauranga, and even Auckland. If you still feel shaking, even after it has been a minute, you must evacuate to high ground immediately. Remember, if it's long or strong, get gone. Do not wait for an official tsunami warning, go immediately, and stay there, until you have been given the all-clear. After an earthquake has occurred, you should expect more shaking, such as aftershocks or further activity down the fault line. More shaking can happen in minutes, days, weeks, months, or even years after an earthquake. If you think the shaking has stopped, check yourself for any serious injuries and seek first aid if necessary. Remember that an earthquake is not like a fire. You do not have to evacuate a building straight away unless it is showing obvious signs of distress, or you are in a tsunami evacuation zone. Turn off water, electricity and gas if advised to. If you smell gas or hear a blowing or hissing noise, open a window, get everyone out quickly and turn off the gas if you can. If you do see electrical interference such as sparks coming from connected plugs, cables, or lights, unplug them immediately and turn off all the power in the building you're in. If you can, put on protective clothing that covers your arms and legs, and sturdy footwear. This is to protect yourself from injury by broken objects. As well as that, keep control of your pets and livestock. Protect them from hazards and protect other people from your animals. Check on your friends, family, or neighbors if they do need any help. Once the shaking has stopped, another broadcast will be issued. If you do not feel shaking, expect that there will be some form of shaking, as it is reported that the entire country will feel this earthquake, as it has risen to a magnitude 9.2 on the Richter scale. This is an official update alert from Civil Defense. This alert is being aired to all areas of the country. May we have your attention, please? The shaking has now stopped. The earthquake that occurred has been measured as a maximum of a magnitude 9.8, which has cut off most communication services and networks within the country. For those who still have power, please pay attention to this broadcast, as it may save your life. If you are within the areas of Gisborne, Mahia, Wairoa, Napier, Hastings, Porangahau, Herbertville, and Castle Point, you must seek high ground immediately, as there is an imminent threat of a tsunami. If you see a sudden rise or fall in sea level or loud and unusual noises from the sea, those are typically signs that a tsunami is going to hit. Walk, run, or cycle in order to avoid getting stuck in traffic congestion. Take your animals with you only if you know it won't delay you. If you are unable to locate your pets or animals, do not waste time looking for them, and if you are not at your home, do not return back in order to pick them up. While evacuating to high ground, avoid hazards that may have been left behind by the earthquake, such as cracks in the ground, debris, or fallen power lines. Do not return back until you have been given the all-clear message from Civil Defense. Only return home once you have been told that it is safe to go back. Depending on the wave height, a map of areas at risk will be shown. Areas that are highlighted in red may experience waves as high as 30 meters to 50 meters. Areas highlighted in orange and yellow may experience waves as high as 10 meters to 30 meters. Areas highlighted in green may experience waves as high as 3 meters to 10 meters. After the tsunami has struck, you must do the following instructions. Listen to radio updates from your local Civil Defense Emergency Management Group, as they will give you further information and instructions on what to do next. Be prepared to evacuate again once you return back to your areas of residence, as strong aftershocks and further shaking can generate more tsunami waves. For a maximum time period of at least 24 hours, all residents within tsunami-affected areas are to stay away from coastal waters, tidal estuaries, rivers, and streams after the tsunami has hit. Even small waves can create dangerous currents. Avoid areas impacted by the tsunami. You might slow rescue and other emergency operations and be at further risk from the residual effects of tsunami flooding. Help friends, family, and other people if you see that they are in distress, stuck, or have been severely injured by either the earthquake or the tsunami. This has been an official update from Civil Defense. Take care and good luck.
Breaking news: as the entire North Island has been hit by a devastating 9.8 magnitude earthquake, GeoNet says. Areas such as Auckland, New Plymouth, Tauranga, and Wellington have been hit. Palmerston North has been devastated by the earthquake, and there could be as many as 1,000 people who have been killed in the city alone, Civil Defense states. Most lines are down as most people are cut off from the rest of the country. There are also reports coming in from the East Coast that a large tsunami may have or is currently hitting the area. Areas in Auckland such as Ponsonby and Mangere have been severely hit, with large-scale fires breaking out within central Auckland. We have been getting reports that steam has been erupting out of multiple cracks produced from the earthquake. We recommend people not to approach these cracks, as it may be incredibly toxic. We don't know how long we will be on the air for until the power goes out in our studio. However, we strongly encourage anyone who is watching this report to seek cover if they are inland. If you are on the coast, move to high ground immediately.
All radio stations within the regions of Marlborough, Nelson, Tasman, the West Coast, Canterbury, Otago, and Southland have been shut down in order to transmit this message. Please may we have your attention. Just a little less than 3 hours ago, a catastrophic 9.8 magnitude earthquake has hit the lower North Island. If you reside within the upper South Island, you may have felt intense shaking. The regions of Hawke's Bay and Gisborne have been completely flooded by a large tsunami. As many as 82,890 people have been killed so far, according to civil defense officials. However, that number is expected to rise. We regret to inform you that the Queenstown earthquake is not the only earthquake that will strike within the area. The Alpine fault will release a bigger and potentially more catastrophic earthquake to hit the area. It is predicted to occur sometime within the next 12 to 24 hours from now. Estimates for how long the shaking will last vary from a magnitude of 8.9 or higher. Some have even gone as far as to say that it will be bigger than the one that the North Island has just experienced. We understand that it may look like the worst has passed following the Queenstown earthquake. However, the Alpine Fault is currently experiencing an earthquake swarm. In seismology terms, swarms are multiple earthquakes happening in the same area over a short matter of time. This could indicate that the Alpine Fault is in the process of rupturing or experiencing a slow fault slip. However, energy contained from the fault line has been released in the lower South Island area, but not in the upper South Island area. This energy has been building up for the past 307 years since the 1717 Alpine Fault earthquake, which explains the power of the recent Queenstown earthquake and the predicted Alpine Fault earthquake. It has also been confirmed that the magnitude 9.4 Bay of Plenty earthquake, which occurred last year, was part of a swarm event, with this most recent North Island earthquake being connected to last year's earthquake. With this information, the New Zealand government is issuing an emergency evacuation of all cities that run along the Alpine Fault line. These cities include Christchurch, Hokitika, Greymouth, Nelson, Murchison, Westport, Kaikoura, Hanmer Springs, and Picton. Temporary refugee camps will be established within the Upper North Island for all homeless people who have been affected by both quakes. You will be evacuated there unless you have family or friends who live in an unaffected area of the North Island. Wellington City will also be placed under an official evacuation order due to the earthquake hazard. We will be playing this broadcast in a consistent manner until the final earthquake hits. Stay strong, be prepared, and good luck. Remember to drop, cover, and hold.
We are getting word that the country of New Zealand has been decimated by 2 major earthquakes so far. After an 8.4 magnitude earthquake that occurred in Queenstown last week, another powerful earthquake struck the lower North Island of New Zealand near Palmerston North. Most services in the country are down, and the country's local geological monitoring system reports that a 9.7 or a 9.8 earthquake has occurred within the area. Shaking has been felt as far north as Whangarei in the upper North Island and as far south as Dunedin in the South Island. Images have been coming into the media this morning showing what appears to be various New Zealand cities such as Auckland, Wellington, and Palmerston North in flames and ruins due to the catastrophic effects of the earthquake. As well as that, multiple places such as St. Luke's Mall in Auckland have been taking in survivors as a public shelter that has been reinforced with earthquake-proof material. The country's symbolic skyscraper in Auckland, the Sky Tower, has collapsed due to large heavy structure damage to it from the earthquake. An official tsunami warning has been given out to people on the east coast after multiple waves at least 40 to 50 meters in height have struck Hawke's Bay. Cities such as Napier and Gisborne have been severely flooded as search and rescue personnel look for survivors. An official statement from GNS Science warns people in the South Island of New Zealand that they should expect another earthquake of the same magnitude somewhere along the Alpine Fault line in the Sue Island. While many have discredited this claim, stating that the big one has already hit, Civil Defence still encourages people to evacuate from cities that may be at high risk of another earthquake. It is very likely that such an event like this will not occur for the next 330 years. It is encouraged by Civil Defence for residents to evacuate immediately.
All right, the power is back on. Everything okay, Thomas? Yes, all systems are operating again. All right, so I think they sent the alert out to the people who live near the Alpine Fault. I've predicted how soon it might be until it hits down to the exact minute. How long do we have? I haven't checked yet, but... Oh God. What? The big one is going to occur near Springs Junction in less than an hour from now.